Welcome to the Masculine Revolution, hosted by Jeremy Brown and myself, Murphy G. This is episode 47 with Zach and Isaac Copeland. Appreciate y'all coming on this morning.
What's up, boys?
Hello.
Yeah, we also got Alan Black in here with us too.
Alan in the background.
Alan.
Sir, Jeremy, you kind of want to take us into it this morning?
Yeah, man. So second time on with us.
Yeah.
First time on with us. The first kid we've had on here, Isaac, baby. So we wanted to kind of go through what you got going on with Lone Oak Outdoors and kind of the heart behind it, the why behind it, and what's pulling y'all to, just broadcast the message of that lifestyle to the world. So give us some info on it.
What do you think, Isaac?
Well, I think that I want to do it because it's terrible.
You're freezing. No,
I'm freezing. Oh, no.
I think, honestly, we don't have like a massive plan for it yet. I mean, this is just something that him and I kind of thought this would be fun to create. And we're really just trying to spread a message of, sharing our love with outdoors and, sharing it with everyone else. I mean, it's super important in our family, being outdoors, whether it be camping or hunting or fishing or
anything
flipping
outdoors.
rocks outside or hitting trees with sticks, anything, man, just being outdoors.
Yeah. What draws you to the outdoors, Isaac? What's
Hunting.
fun about it?
I like hunting, and then I like camping, and mostly just being outside and playing with Tucker.
And your cousins.
And my cousins riding the mule with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Playing by the creek.
playing by the creek, catching crawfish and salamanders, catching little minnows sometimes.
What kind of feedback do you get from folks?
I don't know. I don't have no idea.
Well, tell us a story about the call that you made.
Well, I really wanted to get a dog, so I thought of I asked my mom if she had any ideas, and then she said maybe cutting the grass, and I was like, nah, no thank you. And then she asked if I wanted to start making deer calls, and I was like, that's the one. So then we watched a short video on how to make a deer call. And
We'll start off with a duck call.
We
and
started
then
off with
realized
like, dang it, that's way too many pieces. So then Daddy's found some kind of video of this guy, and he got a piece of bamboo, drilled a hole in it, sanded down the end to make it like you could like see the inside, but like a flat thing, and then got a rubber band and a piece of plastic as the reed.
like a salad top.
Like a salad top, but now we're just using actual professional plastic. And then we put it on, and then we put a rubber band around it, and then there you go. It's just a deer call. And I just started selling those, and I just got bunches of money by it. And then I finally just got a dog.
It worked. It worked very well. He made like over $2,000 in like a month, probably.
Wow.
Sold over 300 of those little.
That's awesome.
Those little calls.
Pocket calls.
And
then someone.
14 different states.
Yes,
pretty
in 14
crazy.
different states. It was insane.
That is cool.
A lot more work than we expected, but
But
it
it
was
worked.
worth it.
It was worth it.
The order's still coming in.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we're about to ship one out in Florida. We got about 4 we got to send to them.
That's really cool.
But really, it's the hats that sell the most now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What was the process in your mind when people started responding?
Man, I thought that, all right, this would be a good way for him to earn some
Money.
extra cash to eventually get a dog. I didn't realize it was going to take off so fast. And,
Then.
man, it was pretty overwhelming, honestly. We posted that one video, and in one night, I woke up the next morning, we had like
$500.
70,000 views on TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
And it was just at first I was like, man, I messed up here. I don't have a production line at the house. I don't know how we're gonna do this, but we figured it out, man. I went and bought some little Harbor Freight tools and bulk ordered some bamboo and rubber bands and got some mylar plastic for the reeds, and we just set up a little shop outside, and we all worked in an assembly line, and Isaac would cut the bamboo, Megan would cut all the reeds, I would throw the rubber bands on there and test them out, and we got it figured out after the first 5 or 6, and then we
went to the business day, and it made over like $100.
Yeah, and then
$150.
he took it to the Children's Entrepreneur Day in Peachtree City. And
and everybody was coming. I brought my dog. Everyone was coming over. There was like one kid that came over like 1,500 times. He would come over to my stand and be like, "Can I hold your dog? Look at your dog." And then I would be like, "Sure." And then he would go back and look at him in the kennel.
What did you think you learned from it?
That he liked it.
No, he's saying about
from the whole experience.
What did you learn from the experience of like making the calls and all that hard work that you put in?
I learned that if you work hard, you can get stuff that you want.
Hey,
yeah,
for sure.
And we did.
We did. I worked my fingers off. I worked my fingers off.
Me too. Our hands,
but they grew back.
But they grew back.
But now we're really focused on the Lone Oak Outdoors and kind of just going to see where it takes us. I don't necessarily have a major plan. We have some things in the works with a couple people that we're going to try to do like a Lone Oak Outdoors Kids and like an event.
Like an event thing?
Like maybe a
ATVs.
Annual event
and
see if it takes off, kind of taking kids who don't necessarily have the opportunity to be in the outdoors a lot, or kids that just want to go experience the outdoors.
That don't get to.
Yeah. So doing some hunting, some fishing, maybe
all day long.
Shooting shotguns.
All day long.
Riding four-wheelers and side-by-sides and cooking out. So
eating deer meat.
Yeah, eating deer meat.
Oh, yeah. Of course. We're eating the deer meat.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So there's some things in the works, but as of now, man, we're just seeing where it goes. It's fun. I'm enjoying it.
Me too.
What about the outdoors, gives you fulfillment?
I don't know, man. I'm a huge, mental health alone. I spoke about that last time I was on it. It's a major thing to me, and personally to me, that's like the number one thing that kind of helps me out, whether it be just going to sit in the woods and in the deer stand, or just going outside camping. We love camping as a family. It's one of our favorite things to do. So
remember that one time when I fell in the water out of the chair? I was sitting in a chair, and there's like a little lake right behind me, and then it was like freezing cold right in the morning. I was doing this. I was literally just doing that. 5 minutes later, I'm literally soaked in the water, coming out of the water like looking
came
like
out of
Bigfoot.
nowhere.
No, I was covered in water, cold water. It was terrible.
It was pretty funny, but yes, very, very cold.
We even got it on video, so that was the best part. So I got to watch it 1,000
that's
times.
The part of camping that nobody ever talks about. Burning your hands on the fire, falling in the water. But yeah, man, it's played a massive role in our family dynamic, at least, by being outside. And I feel like, man, everybody should be able to experience that, whether you live in a neighborhood or not. You can go.
if you have a little backyard,
flip rocks in the backyard and see what's under them. Check out the bugs. Anything. Build a little garden. Just being outside alone is,
the best thing ever.
For sure.
What's some lessons, Isaac, that you've learned from playing outside?
Well, that
what has the outside taught you?
It's taught me that if you just go outside, you could find really cool things. Just go outside and then do things. You could just do anything you want outside.
Yeah.
No rules.
Go. No rules. Literally no rules outside. But do not take your underwear off. Outside, do not do that.
Oh, man.
Do not do that.
You can find some pretty cool stuff, though.
Yeah,
huh?
you
some
can.
Deer skulls.
Deer skulls. I did find a little spike skull in the back, somewhere in the woods one time. And now I have it as a little stand for my lizard pit lizard. Yeah, he just will go in the. When I wake up in the morning, he'll just be like this, literally on the skull. I painted the skull, and he'd just be like, I love the sun.
How big's he getting?
This big.
Good
I mean,
gracious.
well, he gets this big as an adult, but right now he's just
What kind of lizard is it?
bearded dragon.
Bearded dragon.
Bearded dragon. Okay.
Thing's huge.
Cool. Yeah, those things are cool for sure.
Yeah, he's right about that big right now.
Yeah, he's pretty
So what's
long.
your favorite
Counting in
thing
the
to
town.
do outside?
Hunt and camp.
Hunt and camp.
Hunt and camp. Well, everything outside pretty much.
That's
Hunting
good.
for sure.
Hunting for sure. though.
Camping. Yeah.
Camping mostly.
Mine too.
What's important to you for with hunting?
Well, when you provide for the family, and also it's just pretty cool to hunt. And like when you kill the deer, you feel just really pumped about it. It's just like, we got one. One time he shot an 8-pointer, and then our dog, we didn't even know he was a hunting dog, and he'll just literally just take off running. He said, "Bo, go get him, Bo," and he went meow and started like going through like the woods.
He found him quick, didn't he?
He found him quick. We were like,
Because we couldn't find him.
all we heard, we were like in the woods. We were like, all we heard was like, rah, 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 rah. And I was like, Bo's gonna die.
We thought he was getting attacked by coyotes.
Yes, and then we started chasing toward the sound. And guess what? All we saw was those 2 glowing eyes and Bo ripping at the leg of the deer.
Oh,
And
man.
it just was a big 8-pointer.
Nice.
He found him. There was no blood, so I was like,
No blood.
there was no arrow. I couldn't find the arrow, so I'm like, I know I didn't miss. But there's no blood, so
No blood.
the arrow's got to still be just stuck in him.
Yeah, it was literally clogged up in his neck. It was clogged. So he could not.
There was no blood leaking.
No blood leaking.
We let Bo off in the woods right on the driveway right beside our containers by the field, our massive field. I don't know. You'd have to know exactly our house. But sure enough, we let him out, and he just took off running. And 5 minutes later, he was way down in an old creek bed. And
Did he
found him.
chase it down or it just fell over?
No,
You
it was he
It was
was
dead.
dead
He
because
killed
it went
him.
straight. It was a heart shot straight through the heart, but it went. The broadhead was sticking out of his neck right there,
Oh,
so it
man.
didn't pass through. So there was no blood at all. But yeah, Bo found him fast, and then ever since then,
But we've
any
been
deer that we
taking-
gotta find,
we've
that
been
dog
taking
gets him
Bo
every time.
every single time.
Who's been really kind of like influential with you, Zach, on inspiring and teaching the desire and the love of
Oh
outdoors?
man, that's kind of hard. I mean, just in general, I've always loved the outdoors and hunted since I was probably 12. And I killed my first deer when I was 12. And then when I was in the Coast Guard, I didn't
Cut
get to
back.
hunt as much because we lived in Washington D.C. and North Carolina. But when we moved back, that was like a main priority of mine. But honestly, just spreading awareness, I guess. And Stephen Ranella, I don't know if you guys know. I know you know who he is. Man, I've read every one of his books, and he's played a pretty vital role for sure in the importance of the outdoors, especially for your family. And
Yeah. And he is exactly like you. He said he likes skull mounts more than shoulder mounts.
yeah.
He likes skull mounts more than shoulder mounts.
Yeah, but we've read his books together as a family. He's got a really good book called Outdoor Kids in an Inside World, and it just gives you the perspective of how important it is to get your kids outside,
Yeah.
And there's another book that he has, Catch a Crawfish, Count the Stars, and it's a super cool book because
Me and him been reading it. We
Yeah,
literally had a pencil and just cut off.
all it
everything
is
that we
just
read.
a book of things that you can do, things that
Yeah,
you can
like-
make, like windmills and fish traps, squirrel traps, anything like
yeah, even
homemade bushcraft
black-
shelters.
Wild blackberry cobbler.
Yeah.
We made that. It was pretty
Mhm.
good.
So we've gone through the book as a family and just marked out every one that we've done. I mean, it's
And then we
a
let
super cool
you
book.
borrow it.
Yep.
And then we let you borrow it, and then we got it back. Well, we did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great source for getting some ideas on, thinking outside the box.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's some cool stuff in there for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's awesome, man. He in the outdoor community, to me, he's like one of the biggest leaders as far as like doing it as a family rather than just going out there by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he does go moose hunting. I do like that about him. He does go moose hunting.
Yeah, he hunts everything, I think.
Yeah. He'll hunt hog and all
When you
that.
going moose hunting?
I don't think I'm going to go moose hunting, but I will go mule deer hunting.
Okay.
Do you think that it brings unity to the family?
Yes.
Absolutely.
How?
Absolutely.
How would you say it does, Isaac?
I just like it because like it provides meat for the family,
Mm-hmm.
and it's also just really fun to do it. To be honest, just honest truth, it's just fun to hunt.
I think it does it. Not necessarily hunting. Like I don't want to.
And camping.
Lone Oak Outdoors. We're not just. This is a hunting brand. It's just being outdoors alone, especially camping. To me, like it brings the whole family together because you're kind of like, all right, we're in this together. We're in the bad parts of camping together, and the good parts of camping. And when you're all waking up at 4:30 in the morning, freezing to death, like, oh, you feel like we're all in this together. And there's some parts of the camping that aren't necessarily ideal for a lot of people, but
like when I fell in the water.
when you fell in the water, or you get eaten alive by bugs.
Yes.
You learn to deal with like being annoyed a little bit by nature in a sense too, and if you can put up with that, I feel like you can put up with a lot of things in life. So it kind of teaches you too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something that every time you go, right when you're loading up to go, you're already talking about, hey, when are we going to do that again?
Right.
Everybody's all in. We love it, man.
Yeah, it's crazy to me how like you can, do activities like that with your family, and stepping outside of your normal of just the conveniences and the comforts, but and how much it kind of really draws you together to be around a fire in the middle of the woods or by a river or by a lake,
Listening to scary stories around a fire.
Yeah, yeah. And then you got to go get in a tent, and you're like,
And then you got to go pee at 2 in the morning. You're like, please, somebody go with me.
I cannot go. I cannot hold it anymore.
Yeah, I think the outdoors also provides, even if you don't have a conscious thought of it, but like you're a part of something bigger than yourself.
Absolutely.
Where it's like
something that God created.
Yeah.
Like something that you can actually go in the woods and like actually do things other than sit inside and play video games like normal kids do.
Yep. Yep. Which is hard to do different, especially in with all the shiny things that are around us, right?
Yeah, like hard to do.
Video games are cool.
Video games are cool, but I haven't played in 2 months, so that's a new improvement.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Not because of me. I allow them to. I don't want to, but yeah, absolutely. Especially, it's harder nowadays because we do have all these conveniences. Like anything that you want is really at your fingertips at this point. So a lot of people would tend to think that, going camping, man, you're away from all of those conveniences and it's going to suck. But just go do it, man. It is
the best thing ever.
It is awesome. You'll really learn a lot about your family when you're doing that together. Mm-hmm. And then you're kind of forced in a way to sit down together and just enjoy the time together, no matter what you're doing out there, because there's limited to things of what you can do. You're not going out there and just watching movies and sitting in the tent all day. Like you're finding a creek to go play in. You're
riding scooters, even when there's like all that roots and stuff.
All the roots.
Yeah. Look at that root system. Remember when I said that we were on a hike? Look at the root system.
Yeah, I remember that. You're a nut.
I am a nut. I'm a nut. Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually never been hunting myself. I didn't grow up with my dad. Didn't hunt. Didn't really grow up with guns and stuff. But there's a spiritual thing about being outdoors. I mean, if you look through the Bible, I mean, anytime anybody needed to talk to God, they retreated to the wilderness. And so there's obviously like a spiritual aspect to just being outdoors. And it just makes you grateful for the conveniences that we do have, you know?
Oh, yeah, for
It's
sure.
like when it's like cold and you can't do something to change that immediately, it's like, you know, you just become more grateful for the things that we, you know, that we have. You know, I made a joke before on a podcast about, you know, like a Pharaoh had all that money, but he never felt AC.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's like that little simple thing of just like, you know, it's just crazy to think. But for me and my kids, we like to go out in the woods and we'll like cut trails and stuff in our woods.
Dude, absolutely, man.
And that's, I mean, just being out there and, you know, you build forts or like you let your imagination go wild, you know, it's definitely important, I think, you know, to feel the dirt in your hands and stuff,
man.
you know. So.
Let your kids go get muddy.
Right.
Just covered in mud.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Cover their face in mud.
barefoot, no shirts on, running out there, covered in mud and playing in the dirt.
Yes,
cutting
I am
trees down.
always barefoot. One time,
You and all your sisters are always barefoot.
no, Karen and Keller are never barefoot. They are never barefoot.
We got a patch of this piece where I'm trying to grow grass at, and it just stays turned up 'cause they'll go out there with shovels and just dig down. I'm like, well, all right. Well, I guess this area is just gonna
It is what it is.
stay a mud pit.
Yeah.
You know? So it's all good.
Yeah, one time the girls, well, I guess the girls, like Lexi is barefoot, I guess. One time we were, yesterday actually, Kara and Lexi were walked all the way down to Gigi's, which is,
It's a long walk, isn't it?
yes, from our house. And then Lexi was barefoot, all the way on the rocks, all the way to the trail. I heard them going, ah! And then I jumped on Jackson's back. I went, oh jeez, what was that? And then we both fell down. I literally jumped on his back, and then we both fell down into the ground. And Jackson said, it's the girls. And I was like, oh great, we got to take them back home now. But guess what? They ran up to Gigi, so we got a free ride home. So we just like, ew, and left
And
them.
you got candy.
And you got candy.
That's the best part about all of us living on the compound, because, man, those kids, they stay outside playing together all day long. You have to almost force them to come back inside, which I love, man. I mean, we went from living in a neighborhood in North Carolina, which I loved the neighborhood too. We had a great community there, and we had an awesome tiny little pond in our neighborhood, but you could throw just a hook with no worm on there and you catch fish.
Right.
Yeah, you could
Hundreds
literally
of
put
fish
a.
out.
You could literally just put a piece of bread on there. And yeet, catch a
Every
fish on
time.
the first cast.
So we did that all the time.
Yeah, one time we actually.
So you can. That's what I'm saying. You can not live on a bunch of land or live out in the woods and still be
Catch.
outdoors. Like there's so
Sure.
many opportunities with public lakes, public land, hiking trails, just to go, and not necessarily you don't have to go hiking for miles with a backpack on and a hiking stick. You can go out to the trails and just let your
Walk.
kids go wild and explore, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that's really neat about just doing it, and as a family wise, is the things that you'll discover. It's not necessarily like from an adult perspective looking at it. You know you'll look at it like you'll find a grub under a rock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from an adult perspective, you'll look at it, oh, okay, well, there's a grub, But you can see the light, like in Isaac's or Jackson's or Kara's or Lexi's or, everyone's eyes where they're like, what is that, And it's like this moment of discovery that wouldn't have happened if you weren't in that scenario or in that environment, and it opens up your eyes to kind of what we said just a minute ago, where it's you're part of something bigger than you're a part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And there's this entire network of insects and bugs and
Yeah. Salamanders.
salamanders. I know in our creek, you and Jackson did a lot of setting traps for crawfish.
Yeah, one time I actually caught an axolotl,
Mm-hmm.
like a baby one this big.
Yep. And you set up tanks, right?
Yeah.
And put them in there, and then you got to watch them like just
build
what they
their own
would do.
ecosystem
Yeah.
in there. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and then when we forgot to take out, and one time we actually tried to pour some out and to get new ones, but actually there's like a bunch of little ones this
Little
big,
tiny ones.
tiny ones, and there was like a little crawfish in there. Then they grew up, and I was like, I didn't know we
Fed them and they got big. It's crazy, man. It's really cool to watch.
Yeah, and then we got this. Then one time I caught a crawfish about that big, like almost like a lobster.
It looked like a lobster, didn't it?
It was a big old jugger.
It was a big one, and it
In y'all's
Pinched.
creek down there?
Yeah.
and it pinched
Golly.
Bo one time. He actually grabbed one. Bo was like sniffing it in the pool of them, and then Bo, the crawfish was like, yeah. You know,
Grabbed onto him.
it went. It was like all over his nose. I was like,
So what
Sorry, Bo.
advice would you give to somebody who's like they do live in a neighborhood, right? And they're like, man, I would love to participate in something like that with my family, to just kind of step outside the box of what we normally do. Like, what would be a thought from your perspective of like a first step?
Just go. Don't
Just
think about it too much, because
think
that's where
too
you're going to be. If you sit there and think about everything that you have to do in order to make a plan come together, it's not going to work as well as just saying, all right, this is what we're going to do. You can go on Marketplace and find a tent for $20.
Yeah.
I mean, camping gear on Marketplace, man, you can find some crazy good deals, because a lot of people will like, hey, we're about to go, we're going to start camping, and they'll buy a bunch of stuff. They go camping once, they're like, we're not going to go camping, and then they'll sell it for cheap. But yeah, I mean, that and get out there, go camping, or you don't even necessarily have to go camping. You can just go into the woods, go on a hike.
Walk. Just
First steps that
literally.
we did was set up tents in our backyard in our neighborhood. The very first time when he was probably 2, I set up a tent in the backyard, had a little bonfire or a little fire in our fire pit, spent the night out there, told ghost stories, and he had a blast. So I mean, there's small steps you can take before you
baby
know.
steps.
Yeah, baby steps before you like attack it full on and
Yeah, like
say this is
actually go into the mountains and camp.
yeah. Just do it. Really, that would
Yeah,
be my.
just
only
do it. Don't
advice.
think.
Just go do
Don't
it, man.
think too hard. Just go outside.
And don't go into it with any expectations, because a lot of the times they're not going to meet your expectations if you just do it and experience it how it comes. I mean, you're going to have some uncomfortable times,
Like when I fell in the water.
like
again.
when you fell in the water.
I said that 3 times already. I don't know why.
But and at the end of the day, it's going to bring you closer, especially with your family, no matter what. And even if you go by yourself, it's just to clear your mind alone, man. It is. There's something about it that you can't just do inside, sitting on the couch or in your room, clearing your mind. It just doesn't work that well. Not for me, at least. I mean,
Have you had any conversations since you kind of started Lone Oak Outdoors, like on Instagram, or is it on TikTok too?
yeah, we're on TikTok, but mainly Instagram's been the biggest
Yeah.
form of social media.
Have you
that
had
we've been
any
on.
conversations with anybody that has zero experience with, doing stuff outside and growing up and outside, and they're like reaching out to you saying, "Hey, man, thanks for sharing this because this is a good idea."
Yeah, actually, I have. Not necessarily on the camping part of it, but when I have some pictures of us processing deer, and because we're super into deer meat at my house. To me, it's
my favorite kind of meat.
yeah, the best. Like,
Kind of meat.
yeah, we love it. You can do anything with it. But we've had somebody. I had somebody reach out. A girl I actually went to high school with. She now lives in California, but she's never been hunting. Her husband hasn't, and she was just super interested in how to get started in that, or how to get her husband started in it, and wanted me to have a conversation with him and give him some advice on where to go. Like, how do you get started in this? And yeah, like, so there are people who are interested in doing it and feel like I have really no idea what I'm doing. So
I have no idea what I'm going to do.
this is just, to me, it's another outlet for somebody to go to just spread the word and say, hey, it's not as hard as
you think.
you think. It's pretty simple. It's honestly the most simple thing that you could do.
Just get in a deer stand or get in the blind. Just hunt and just go hunt.
That part's a
Simple
little
as
hard. You got to have somewhere to hunt, but
you gotta have somewhere to
there
hunt.
are-
You gotta buy the thing you're gonna hunt.
there's
in,
public
but-
land in every state that you can hunt. So
Yeah, like the hunting public.
Yeah, I think that's what's pretty cool. You know, I mean, there's a lot of negatives, obviously, about social media that's been brought to our culture. But one thing that's really neat about it, I think, is it really like the experience y'all had with it, where, you know, it was just an idea of like, hey, how can I make a little bit extra money to buy a dog, you know?
Yeah.
And just putting that out there connected you with hundreds of people that share the same passion, and they get excited about like, hey, it's getting passed on to another generation.
100%, man.
And they want to support that because they know how much wealth it brings to their life. And so it's pretty neat to see and use that tool of, because you're not necessarily, like you said, you don't have a strategy, you don't have a business plan or a model put together to grow something. It's just coming from a genuine spot in your heart of, I want to share these simple yet important to us experiences that we're doing on a weekly and daily basis, you know.
Yep.
And I think that's a pretty unique spot in history where I you know, other generations obviously didn't have that experience to have that example of what other people are doing all around the world, you know.
And one thing I will say about the outdoor community in a whole, man, it is like the most supportive, close-knit community you could ever imagine. Like, there's no dumb questions when it comes to that. Just on that TikTok video alone, we had so many guide services across the United States reaching out to us, so many hunting dog breeders reaching out. I mean, we had 3 different people who were going to ship a dog for free to Isaac.
That's awesome.
Just because they love to see this young child in the outdoors wanting to do something and wanting to work for something. So, I mean, just that community in a
Those
whole.
kids would just be like,
Shout out
I have a
Austin Hill
dog?
from Stellar Guide Services in Texas, man.
Nice.
So, I mean, incredible people, seriously. So it's honestly, if you don't know where to go, but you want to get started, anybody that is involved in the outdoors would be more than happy to help. I mean, there's nobody who's going to gatekeep that. It's nothing that you can gatekeep. Everybody wants to share that experience with everybody.
Yeah.
What's your favorite animal in the woods, Isaac?
Deer.
Deer?
Yeah, deer. In the woods, at least. In the woods.
Yeah, in the woods.
In the woods.
Zach, where'd you learn how to like prepare it? Like, I see the spread sometimes. You know, it's nice sliced up and everything.
Like cook it or process it?
Yeah, well, just like the cook it and
Well, to me, cooking is probably like one of my biggest hobbies. I love to cook.
Okay.
So honestly, it's just trial and error.
Yeah.
From over the years of cooking with deer meat, I've been you tweak some things that worked, and over time you start to perfect it.
Yeah.
And I will give a lot of
Perfecto.
credit to the Big Green Egg on
Okay.
perfecting
Big green
some of those
egg. I'm a
steaks.
big green egg. I wear green, so I'm a big green egg.
Yeah, those pictures always look great when it's, you know, you got them chopped up and it's like
Yeah,
nice
man.
and sliced.
You
I'm
could,
like,
man, I'm telling you, you can cook backstrap like a ribeye steak, and I'm telling you, it is delicious. Delicious. People who
Perfecto.
say that deer meat is not good, I could fool you. You would never know that you were eating deer meat.
I don't
And-
like people that don't like deer meat.
And,
It is true.
It's good, isn't it?
Yes, it's very
Isaac, how would you encourage somebody your age, like a friend of yours that doesn't necessarily go outside and play? How would you encourage them to do it?
I would encourage them to do it by telling them, like, hey, you want to go do this, but make them, like, think. It's, like, actually, like, something that, like, indoor kids would do, but make it, like, outside. Like, hey, you want to go find rocks, like, you want to go find really cool rocks out, but but sometimes people will just go inside, and people will just go inside and try to find things. But
Just
now,
doing it outside,
just
just
doing
taking them
inside.
outside.
yeah, just take them outside and make them think that it's what they would do inside.
Deception.
Deception is what I'm trying to think. Yeah, is what I'm saying. Deception.
No. We're going to have to edit that, Alan.
Ha 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 ha.
It's really just playing outside, though, right?
Yeah, just
I mean,
get
you have
'em-
Just
I mean-
inviting them to the
Yeah.
outdoors.
yeah.
right?
Let them come see our ducks. Let them go ride the side by side or the 4-wheeler outside. Let them.
Logan really likes that.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's fun.
I actually made him. We actually have a game, and when we ride in the back, I actually make him.
Act like you're
game.
shooting zombies.
Yeah, acting like we're shooting zombies.
Yeah, I remember
and
that game.
aliens.
I think I was the driver for that game.
Yes, you were. Jackson actually shot one of our teammates.
So where would folks find you at Lone Oak Outdoors?
Lone Oak Outdoors on Instagram. Lone Oak OD on TikTok. And then my just personal Facebook page. But like I said, it's not a business. It's more or less us just sharing our experiences of being outdoors. So if you want to follow a family of 5 and see the crazy stuff that we do in the outdoors, give us a follow. And any help that I can, bring to the table for anyone who's looking to get into the outdoors, I'd be happy to help.
House.
Yeah.
Maybe not come to our house, but get on
Come to our house for sure.
No, get on Instagram. Whatever you say.
So any final thoughts, Isaac, on just when you're sharing what we're talking about to the world?
Yeah. One more.
What is it?
Well, I'm just saying. What we're trying to say is just go outside. Get outside. Do it. You have to. I mean, if
fun.
you want to, it's fun. Just get outside.
Yeah,
That's what we're
absolutely.
trying to say.
Yeah.
Get outside.
Zach, final thoughts?
Just do it. Just what he said. Go
Get
experience
outside.
it. It's going to be uncomfortable at first, but the more you do it, you'll get used to it, and
Yeah.
you'll really start to.
At first, I did not like going outside, but now I do. It's my favorite thing.
Just experience nature and God's creation. It'll all come together. You don't have to make it difficult. Very simple.
I like it.
Can you say that with your British accent?
Yes. What I'm trying to say is, just get outside.
I love it.
Nice.
Nailed it.
Crushed it.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Legit.
I need to say my cousin's name. Jackson.
Might as well say your sisters and your other cousins.
Callie, Kara. Callie and Kara. Lexi, Emma.
There you go.
Got
Shout out
'em.
to the family.
There
Shout
you
out
go.
to the compound.
family.
Nice.
Shout out to the other kids on the compound. Yeah.
How
I
about
like
you,
it.
Jeremy? You got any closing thoughts for us?
I love it, man. Just don't overthink it. I think is what I take out of it is, a lot of people try to think through all the details and plan it and all this kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, it's just dump that way of thinking and get out there and see what happens.
Absolutely. 100%.
For sure. Yeah, I echo all that. I think that sums it up pretty good.
We appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks
This is fun.
thanks for coming on. Appreciate y'all being here early in the morning.
It was fun, wasn't it?
It was fun, but
Yeah.
the part waking up 5:40,
4:45.
4:45 in the morning was not the best part, but not the best part,
Worth
but
it.
it was worth it.
Alan agrees with you.
Yeah. I did too
He
this
had to
morning.
wake up early. Do
Well,
something.
Yeah, appreciate y'all coming on. As always, y'all can reach out to us at masculinerevolution@gmail.com for comments or questions. You can find us at Masculine Revolution at Facebook. Till next time.
Join the family.
See ya.
See ya.